Andersonville Historic Site in Georgia. Andersonville, Georgia. Let's go out here and look at this. I want to go out here and look at this right quick. I said I want to go out here and look at this right quick. Oh, nope. Okay.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir. You're fine. Go ahead. Oh, this is pretty.
That is cool. Oh, it comes from over there. It was there.
Wow, that's nice.
Look at his face. He's staring at something weird.
It's like you're struggling a little bit. It's a nice monument. If y'all want to pause and read.
Oh, darn it, you're in the way.
My bad.
You're right behind me.
Hang on, hang on.
Back up just a little more.
Yeah, I could have just done this, but can't see. Sorry. Yeah, okay, that's better. Ah. I'm fixing to. I'm just trying to get as much as I can.
It's trying to scan it.
Is it?
Look. Scan's coming up on mine.
You're recording with a recording.
Oh wow, look at the fort back there.
What?
It's yeah, the fort.
It's just
Granite.
cool.
There's so many.
Oh, that's granite. Nice.
Hey,
No
wait a
wonder I
minute.
like granite because it's
What you trying to say?
Hold on. Hey, Dad.
Huh?
A good shot. Hold on. Like one of those. Oh, I hope it's good. Whoa, sound.
That's where the filtration board is right now.
Take a good pic of this.
All right.
I'm freezing, but I'm getting kind of used to it.
Yeah, let me do the couple pictures of y'all sitting together.
Okay.
Hold on.
Pretty. Thanks. Where'd she go? I lost her. Uh-oh. Okay.
I tried to turn my volume down and instead took a blue pictures around.
There she is.
There you are. I think the best report. Oh yeah, you are.
Yeah, I'm gonna post it.
I actually took pictures of the bracelets and stuff that are in it.
Yeah, I did some video on it. I'm trying to get as much as I can so people can read it. You're welcome, people. Oh. Kind of hard to read some of this. If y'all have to, just pause it to read it.
I have to put the camera just to get all this.
Don't want this video to be too long. Oh wow, they actually had female POWs. Hold on a minute. Oh wow, look at this. Was that an Air Force uniform? Wow. That's cool.
It's motion sensor. When you walk in there, the spotlight comes up on you and it
Oh.
shows the guns pointing at you,
Oh wow, really?
firing.
Oh wow, this is cool.
When I stood right here, that light turned on and it shined on me, and each one of these guns lit up with a red light. You have to redo it at some point.
They herded all the people that were non-medical and put them down in the garage area. It was about as big as a football field, and that was about 32,000 people.
Something tapped me on the side of the helmet. Really big old beard scared me to death. They told me to tell the rest of the squad to throw down our weapons and come on out. And we did.
I wanted to see the thingies.
Ooh. It's going up.
It should go down.
Like prisoners, if they had tried to take the skin off, and I wasn't gonna give. I wasn't gonna be captured alive.
How long will it be before they shoot us? I guess that's the thing, because we'd already encountered, when it was 6 guys, they had their hands tied behind their back with radio wire, and they were shot in the back of the head.
Okay.
You pretty well think you're gonna die. And in fact, I
Yeah.
had my 38 out.
Oh, you trying to take pictures, babe?
The decision was
Sorry.
made there whether or not I was going to die of my own hand or see what happens.
Yeah, I did too. There's some rocks down here. Almost tripped on that one.
It's metal.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's metal. Feel it. I'm gonna delete some games up here that literally do not play.
Usually when I download a game, I end up deleting one that I don't play anymore. Wow, that's a lot of reading. What's this? That's a little egg carton of some sort. This box was used by a Filipino family to deliver eggs to their friends. The family of Clement W. Harold, who were Interned at Camp Holmes. So it's an egg carton type thing. Type thing.
Come here. Are they human cookie cutters?
Uh huh. Wow.
Holy moly.
It's kind of hard to see in here. Not much light. Oh, it's a little POW uniform, looks like. Let's see if we can read that right there. Oh, thank you. There we
I
go.
have to look at how much data I have.
So I think that's a POW uniform.
Needles.
Yep.
Knitting needles.
Socks.
Well, with my light on, you can actually get some of the outline of the people too.
Yeah, there's outlines of little food.
That one has saying on it.
Can we get it? Sumter Prison. It's got a name on it. Can't hardly see it. It's something Marlowe.
Probably somebody's name.
So these are actual real cantinas and some POWs.
We continue recording.
Coffee cubes.
Oh
And,
wow. MRE. So fishing hooks and stuff. Fishing stuff. What's that? Oh, it's like a cooking pan. Wow. Some glasses. And a prosthetic.
It's a hook.
Hold on, Jonathan.
Should I press this button on this little thing?
That's pretty cool. What?
Should I press this button?
Press it. Oh, cool.
Oh, wow, it's like aspirin and stuff.
Oh, it's a little med kit of some sort.
It talks about how they didn't get much supplies.
What we got here? Zinc pocket mirror, toilet paper.
From Japanese powder camp.
Wow.
Soap box.
So it's
Hammered from aircraft aluminum.
soap, toilet paper, and a mirror.
Speaker in the wall.
Oh wow, toothbrush.
Dad,
Huh?
I can see the surround of the speaker in the wall.
Cool.
Vietnamese toothbrush, toothpaste, soap given to
Soap.
Vernon Payton.
Yeah, Peyton. Oh wow,
Sandals.
sandals. Those. These are POWs. Oh wow, look at those sandals.
Glare. I'm recording
There's some
something else.
POWs.
It's 10:55.
Work!
Work.
Work!
Work.
I can't see. Uniform.
Their keys were huge.
Wow. Those are prison keys. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Look how huge they are
Dang.
compared to my hand.
These are huge.
That key.
Hey, original post from Andersonville Stockade from 1864.
Oh wow.
What is that?
It's a post from the stockade.
Let me move back, making sure not to knock that down.
Wow.
Wow, I got a perfect view right here.
Spam and camels. Oh, sorry.
It's all right. Just trying to get a little bit of everything. Wow, look at
My
that.
light on it for you.
Ship's
Bar
log.
date or booms.
Ship's log.
Wow.
Obituaries of who died and stuff. Be messed up. We saw one of our old relatives on there. 'Cause my great grandfather died in World War II.
My grandpa fought in World War II, Vietnam War. Well, he didn't fight. He, oh, wow. It's Filipino money. That's fine. Is that
That's a spike.
railroad spike or something? Oh, wait.
That's a royal spike.
Huh.
I'm sorry, I just cleared my throat right in front of that.
Wow, look at all those cigarettes. Those are the unfiltered ones too. The Camels.
Sugar. Granulated sugar box.
Oh gosh. I can't get
Coffee.
anything.
Hold on, Jonathan. Oh wait. If y'all want to read it. And all this stuff right here used to be pretty much like money back then. All right. Back in a different area. Oh, look at that. It's a,
It looks like it's a blower.
it's a slag invention.
During World War II. It's a
May I have
cooker.
your attention, please? Voices from Andersonville, a 28-minute film which explores the history of the Andersonville prison during the Civil War will begin in the theater momentarily. The theater is located in the corner of the lobby across from the front desk. Thank you.
Every cross thing.
Yep.
Now it's being used, which is my camera. Other YouTube channel. It's like a perfect view right there. Besides the
Hard to
glare.
see. Yeah, the glare. There we go.
There's a little text right here.
Yes, sir.
Program or your fellow classmates if they have questions, but also to respect the site itself and the other visitors we have today. Because we don't always know the story of our other visitors. They could have a very personal connection to this place. We have a national cemetery here. They could have family that are buried here. We have a museum that honors our soldiers, and they may have had an artifact in there that belonged to the family at some point. So just keeping that in mind, that this is a place where we are going to respect not just each other and not just the site, but the other visitors as well. Does that sound fair? All right. Our second rule is one of safety. We are going to be walking out in the prison site itself, which is uneven open field. There's going to be uneven terrain as we go through. So just something to keep in mind as we walk through the field. Watch where you're walking. I do have a first aid on my back in my safety pack, but I would prefer if we didn't use it today. We do also have a couple of animals that are out here. We have one that's called the armadillo. Armadillos are nocturnal, so you will not see them. However, they love to dig holes. And there are lots of armadillo holes out there. I know where some of the very large ones are, and I will point those out so we do not step in them. But again, they are animals. They can dig wherever they want to. Because if we tell them something, they don't understand us. So again, just keep in mind that there are going to be terrain as we go through there. There's going to be holes as we go through there. I will do my best to keep you guys out of them. But I don't know where they're digging the new ones. They haven't told me. The other animal we have out here are fire ants. Fire ants are not historically accurate. They were not here during the Civil War. However, they have moved in. And we can't tell them to leave because they don't listen. But with all the rain we've been getting, the mounds are very tall, making them very easy to see. So how many of you, by show of hands, have ever seen a fire ant mound before? Okay. How many of you have accidentally stepped in one before? How many of you would like to repeat that today?
Oh.
So, with that in mind, we're going to do our best to stay out of the fire ant mounds.
Yeah, 'cause he's allergic to
I will
ants.
point them out where I see them as
Please
we walk
don't
across
repeat
the
that
field.
today. Do you have an epi
But
pen?
they're everywhere. So help your classmates out, point them out if you see them. Just don't step in them. And if you knock them over, please mention it to other people because they will swarm out and climb up the next person who walks in. And people can be allergic to ants the same way they can be allergic to bees. And I do not feel like calling 911 today. All right? Okay. Now that we've gone over safety, hopefully we will have a nice, fun, safe trip. No one will be injured and we'll be able to enjoy our time out here. So with that, you all can follow me to our first stop.
I've seen a lot of military and police officers out here too.
Were you thinking that, or I think they're 2 BRTC.
In order to understand the story of what happened here, we need to understand a little bit about the history of what was going on at the nation at the time. So I'm going to give you a couple of questions here. Raise your hand if you think you know the answer. Who were the two armies that fought in the Civil War? Very good. Union and Confederate. Who was the president of the United States of America, or the Union?
Abraham Lincoln was the president of the North, but Jefferson Davis was the president.
You got my second question right there as well. So yes, so we had two different presidents over two different armies because the Confederate States of America were looking to break away and form their own country. Now the United States of America wanted to keep the country together, united. And so this is where the basis of the war started. And part of the ways that the Confederacy could legitimize their claim of being a nation was to elect their own president, Jefferson Davis. They were also able to form their own militia or army, the Confederate Army. However, at the beginning, both sides of the war thought it was going to be very short-lived, with some sending letters home saying, "I'll be home by Christmas." They thought the war was only going to last a couple of weeks, maybe a month or two. And so neither side had infrastructure in place to support a long, drawn-out war. In fact, they didn't even have in place what to do with soldiers that they captured on the field.
the very beginning of the war, they just go, all right, I captured 20 this battle, you captured 30 this battle, let's just trade 20-20, I'll figure out what to do with the other 10. Very casual exchanges. As the war continued, they realized this wasn't going to work out, especially when they started capturing commanders. Because would you think that a captain holds more value than a private? How many privates would you trade for one captain? These are very difficult questions because now we are talking about the worth of an individual human. And both sides needed to figure this out. And so they sat down, they had two generals sit down at a table and write out new accords that were known as the Dix Hill Cartel, named after the two generals who wrote it. And these helped lay out the rules for prisoner exchanges. The exchange rates for the different ranks, as well as helped to lay out some additional rules that were earlier set out by what was called the Lieber Codes before the start of the war. And these helped set out treatment, how to keep your humanity during a war. Things like, if you capture a prisoner, you have to feed them. If you capture a prisoner, you have to make sure they have shelter. Like, you can't just throw a prisoner into a mud field and starve them. That's not a prisoner. And so they set these basic rules out, and both sides had these rules, and it worked really, really well. They were able to come up with this number of prisoners worked out. They had these exchanges going, and these exchanges continued until a single proclamation caused all exchanges to stop. Any idea what proclamation that might be?
Emancipation Proclamation.
Yes. And what did the Emancipation Proclamation say?
Free the slaves.
Okay. It freed the slaves more specifically in the states of rebellion. So it only freed the slaves in the Confederate territories. It also acted as a call to arms to those freedmen and former slaves living in Union territories to join the Union Army. And they did. By the droves, because for them this was a very personal war. This was their chance to give the freedom that they had fought for to those who were still living in slavery, to their families, to their friends. And so they joined, so many so that we start to see what is United States colored troops being formed. Entire battalions formed of these men of color. And they all joined voluntarily. However, the Confederate Army did not appreciate this because for them, those soldiers were not soldiers. They were not men. And for some of them, they were not human. They were property. Stolen. Runaway property. Going so far as to say that if they come across any of these United States colored troops, they would treat them as such. Return them back to the plantations they escaped from, or sell them back into slavery. They would not treat them as soldiers, and therefore would not treat them as prisoners of war. The Union said, no, these are my soldiers. They volunteered to join the Army. They volunteered to wear the colors of the United States, to fly the flag, to fight for their men. You will treat my soldiers as we have agreed to. Or we won't do the same for yours. So either include our U.S. colored troops as soldiers and treat them as prisoners of war when you capture them, and include them in exchanges, or there will be no more prisoner exchanges. South did not concede. Confederates said no. So all exchanges came to a halt, which meant that without exchanges, the number of prisoners of war keeps going up. You collect something you don't share. You just keep collecting. And all of a sudden you've got thousands upon thousands upon thousands of prisoners without places built for them to go. And so we've got Andersonville, which was actually built later on in the war. The final construction took place in February of 1864. Now the war ends in 65. So you can see that there just wasn't that much time for this place. However, it is one of the most infamous sites. It is also one of the largest prison sites. We're going to learn a little bit more about that. But as we go to our next stop, I want you to think about why the Confederates chose this location. What about this area around us, where we are today, makes this a good choice for a prison site? So think about that, and we're going to walk to our next spot. And I'll ask the question again to see if you were able to come up with any suggestions. All right, follow me. What about this site makes it ideal for a prison site? Why would the Confederates choose this location?
Because it's wide open.
We got a lot of wide open space. All right. Not only were there lots of good forests surrounding it, but this original field wasn't a field at all when the Confederates first got here. It was forest. They were able to clear cut the whole thing, and if you turn in place, look at the stockade wall. What is it made out of?
Trees.
Where do you think they got those trees to build that wall?
The forest.
From the field. All right, so we got nice open space. We've got timber to build the stockade. What else?
Away from the front line of fighting.
Absolutely. Where are the front lines of fighting taking place? What states?
I just read the video.
Kentucky, Virginia. All right. We're far away, but you know how far that is. Think about if, say this weekend, your family decided to just go to Virginia Beach for the weekend. How long would it take you to drive to Virginia Beach?
Hours.
9 hours? All right.
It would,
And that's by driving.
yeah,
During the
days.
Civil War, they did not have cars. And if you were to escape from this place, you would be walking. How long would it take to walk from here to Virginia Beach?
Weeks.
In the middle of the South.
And you're also going through the Confederate Army, and you might be coming across battlefields.
And back then it snowed.
That would be a
We are
problem.
very far from the front lines, which makes it very difficult for successful escapes. But conversely, it also makes it very difficult for liberation attempts on this site too. So, good area, plenty of space, far from the front lines. What else?
You got Macon not too far away to supply for supplies that you might need.
All right, supplies and railroad. This site, where we're standing right now, we're about a half-mile away from the nearest train stop, train station. It is just across the road in the town of Andersonville itself. It is still active. We still get trains coming through. In fact, we may hear a train at some point today because they whistle as they go through the town. But they were able to not only transport goods on that, they're also able to transport the prisoners themselves. Because by putting them on a train car, locking the train car and sending it down the rails, that only requires a handful of guards. Versus if you marched them, you would need many more guards to make sure they did not try to run.
And it took a lot longer.
Would take a lot longer as well.
It's less soldiers to fight.
Take away from the front lines. What about this area we're in? What part of Georgia are we in?
Southwest.
South, Central, West. What is this area of Georgia known for?
The skeeters, the gnats, the weather.
We got cotton. What else?
Corn.
Lots of ants.
Cans.
I said ants.
Peanuts. Peaches.
A lot of
We also grow
farmland.
sorghum around here. And we
Apples.
are agricultural down here. Georgia is an agricultural state. And specifically so in this area, I'm sure as you drove through, you were able to see a bunch of empty fields getting ready for planting.
Pecans.
A bunch of plantations for the pecans. Orchards for the peaches. That was all there then, too. This state has always been an agricultural state, and being in this location, we're able to provide food for our soldiers and also for the prisoners. So we got a food supply now. What else do you need?
Medical supply.
Okay, that would be coming in on the rail lines.
Water, so you need the river.
All right, we need water. And there is a stream that cuts through the center of this site. When the Confederates first chose this location, that stream is how they picked, how they were able to determine the max capacity that this site could hold. That stream is the Stockade branch of the Sweetwater Creek. It's about 2 feet deep and 4 feet wide. Relatively slow-moving creek, be able to provide enough fresh water for between 8,000 and 10,000 prisoners.
Wow.
I have a question.
Yes.
How did they come across the name Sweetwater for that river?
I'm not entirely sure. I just know that that is where the Stockade branch flows into. Yeah. But Sweetwater they wanted to put the site closer to Sweetwater Creek because it was larger, but the landowner of that site would not loan or sell the land to the Confederate Army, whereas this landowner did. So we've got water. But if we turn and look at our prison site itself, from here, we are at the north corner. If you look diagonally to your left down the field, you see where that white van is. A little bit towards us, there is a stone pillar. Do y'all see that little stone pillar? That is the south corner. At the beginning, this site was 16.5 acres. We are standing in a 10-acre addition that was built in August of 1864. Because this site was originally meant for a maximum of 10,000 prisoners. That 10,000 was reached in May. The site opened in February.
Wow.
Only a couple months. By August, we see this site has 33,000 Union soldiers held captive. We look at that space, you can start to see that it's not a lot of space for that many people. And we're going to be going into the prison site itself now. And as we do, I want you to take a look at this picture that I will be passing around that shows what the site looked like in August of 1864. It is an actual photograph from that time. Gives you an idea of just what it might have been. Here y'all go. Y'all can follow me inside. It's loaned out to the neighboring communities to assist, but they had to be backed.
Oh, okay.
Nails.
That's not OSHA regulated.
I don't think wind, that would stand wind.
Yeah, we actually took them all down for that huge windstorm that we had last weekend.
I think it just...
So, is this actually original cloth?
It's not original, but it's from reenactment supply.
Okay, so it's very accurate.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're now inside the stockade wall. And if y'all can come closer this way. So the tall wall behind you is the stockade wall itself. As you're standing here, take a look up because these posts go up about 15 feet. But they're buried in the ground about another 5 to 6 feet.
Wow.
And this wall would have gone the full perimeter around the site. You can see white posts that outline where that perimeter is as you look around the field. This small fence in front of you and behind me is the dead line. And the area you're in right now is a bit of a dead man's land. Because the guards who are stationed in the towers up above have received orders from the command to shoot any Union soldier on sight should they cross over this dead line.
Even if they were pushed?
Even if they were pushed. On site if they cross this deadline. And so that 26 acres that we were talking about is actually a little bit smaller, because this area you're standing in also goes the full way around the site and takes about 4 acres away from that livable space. However, as we're looking into this, we can also see some of the shelters that these men had. Now, the Confederates did not provide material for the shelters. That was stuff that the soldiers had to be creative with of what they had on them at the time of their capture. So you'll see we've got a wool blanket, pieces of canvas, and oilcloth. In order to build a larger tent, like this one, or even to have a full 2-sided tent, meant that you had to find another soldier to partner up with to build a complete tent. It means that you're sharing it with at least one other person. But looking at these shelters, do you believe that they are adequate? No. Do you think they protect you from the elements?
No. Maybe from the sun just a little bit, but nothing else.
From the
And
sun?
only from about half the day if you only have one-sided.
Yeah.
A little bit from rain.
Can you get sick from being exposed to the elements?
Yes. Definitely sick.
And so illness was something that spread very quickly through this area, not only because of the inadequate shelters, but also because of that overcrowding that we saw in that photo that's being passed around. Now, our understanding of science and medicine now, we know that illness can be spread multiple different ways. But during the Civil War, their understanding of science and medicine, they believed that illness could only be spread through the air, specifically through the sense of smell, which is why open stockade prisons like the one we're in were so common during the Civil War. Because if it was open, the smell could go up and out, and so would the illness. Unfortunately, we know that's different. And we got a little demonstration for it. So I have an experiment, a project that we're going to work on. I need 6 volunteers to help me out with this. So we have
Jonathan, go!
1,
Volunteer!
2, 3, 4. All right, want 2 more?
Aw.
5 and
Good
6.
at stuff.
All right, come on up front. You guys can come against the deadline. All right, this is a chemistry experiment,
Get ready for the mace.
so we need safety equipment. These are aprons. Go ahead, open them up, unfold them, put them on. There is a neck hole to put your head through. And now what look like armholes, those are actually straps that you can pull off and tie around your waist. But you have to unfold it all the way to do it. So you still have one more unfold to do.
Oh, those look too familiar. Some restaurants. Jobs.
I think we get them from Kitchen Supply.
Mm.
Alright, so once you get your head in, those side ones that look like armholes, they tear off and they can tie around your waist.
This is gonna be.
I was right. It is mace. Oh.
Got the gloves in here too, and they are nitrile, so they are not latex. Nice. Okay. Oh my God.
Assistance.
You missed the fold.
Those things are confusing. Mm-hmm.
I already ripped it once.
Well, they're very cheap. I think probably about 50 of those cost $2.
I don't like build the size girl.
What?
Huh?
Gloves. Goggles. Gloves. Gloves. Gloves for me. Alright, once you guys get those on.
She's a cat, though.
So as you're getting those I got a couple more questions for you. This is chemistry. There are rules to chemistry. Let's see if you know your chemistry rules. Do you smell strange chemicals?
No.
No.
Do you taste strange chemicals?
No.
Obviously not.
Do you spill strange chemicals on your classmates?
No.
That's a loaded
All right, now that we've gone over these, if you guys cannot follow those rules, I will ask someone else to participate.
Familiar chemical.
Oh, if they are familiar chemicals, then you should really know what you should be doing with them. But these are strange, unknown chemicals, so you really should know what you shouldn't be doing with them.
I couldn't do this. I have to smell everything.
And touch.
And touch.
Ooh, something. Touch.
What is
We're
this
handing these out.
very potent and strange smell?
All right. So you now
I just want to smell it.
two different populations here in the prison. We're not opening them yet. The three over here have been in the prison for a while. You've been here for a couple months now. You know what it's like. You've been living in these conditions. These have been your homes for the last several months. You've been living here with 30,000 of your closest friends. All drinking from the same water source, all eating the same food, just living buddy up with your friends because you're sharing your tent with maybe 2, 3, 5 other people.
And probably your food.
You three represent newcomers. You are just arriving. You have been on the train for hours, maybe even days to get here. You only had the canteen that was in your pack when you were captured. You have not been given a chance to refill it because the train cart doors have been locked. So you're thirsty. You don't have a lot of water left. In fact, let's take a look at the water you do have. Hold it up to your classmates so we can take a look. What do we notice about the water? What's an observation we can make?
Then
Hers looks purple.
it's not very
It's
clear.
not very clear. It's kind of looking low.
Yeah, it does look purple.
Yeah, we have less.
It's probably stagnant.
All right, you've got less than they do, but that's because you've got the mysterious chemical, which is why we're all decked out. You three have been here a while. You've been drinking from the stream. You know what it's like, though, to be new. You know how at the end of this ride, they're going to be very thirsty because those trains are very, very hot. And because they are also soldiers, they are your brothers in arms, and you feel compassion for them. So you are willing to share some of the water you have with them when they arrive. But before they do, show your canteens to the rest of the class. Then we're looking at not a whole lot of water, fairly clear. All right, at this point I want y'all to pair off. One vial to one jar. Everyone get a partner.
Well, don't give each other on the train. Maybe hold on to the jars.
All right, those of you with mason jars, unscrew the lids and hold them off to the side.
Don't smell them.
Don't smell.
Those of you with vials, these droppers have safety lids. You will need to squeeze, push, and turn all at the same time like a medicine cap. All right, leave the droppers in the vials for now. Were you all able to get it undone? All right, great. All right, so we are going to take, those of you with droppers, 5 to 6 drops you will drop into the jars.
You get extra water.
All right.
Wow.
Half up your jars now.
Oh my god.
Those of you with mason jars, make sure your lids are on tight and give your jar a swirl once you've capped it.
Oh, look, it's pink. You're welcome for the poison.
All right,
Yay.
those of you with mason jars, please show the class what your jars look like now. What kind of observations can we make?
I knew it looked purple.
Testing solution?
Yeah, you knew it.
Wait, what?
Testing?
Testing solution?
You said it looked purple?
Yeah.
I said
Like
I knew
bright
it looked
pink?
purple.
Like hot pink.
Yeah.
Hot pink?
Hot pink.
Oh, my hair used to be. That's hot pink.
Oh no.
Oh no, what?
Again, you're welcome for the poison.
Everyone who does not have hot pink water, please take at least 2 big steps away from those who do have hot pink water.
Hot pink.
I am so sorry,
Hot
you
pink.
two.
Oh.
Please stay over there because you two now have dysentery. Highly contagious.
Oh no! Make sure you only breathe up.
So dysentery is actually the
Just wanna
number 3
touch
cause
it.
of death here at this site. It is a highly contagious disease that, as we saw, can be spread through water. But it can also be spread through contact. So those of you who have been sharing tents with these two, sorry, you guys also have dysentery.
Now, what exactly is dysentery?
Absolutely. So dysentery is an intestinal disease. How many of you have ever had the stomach bug? All right. Now imagine the stomach bug
kinda
times
figured
12.
Yeah, I figured that's
And
what
you
it
were starting
was.
to get to feel like what dysentery is like.
With no medicine.
Yep.
And nowhere really good to go that's sanitary.
Yeah.
Same water.
And you still have to drink the same water because you can't just not drink water.
That brings up a new question. With so many people confined in the compound and they're not allowed to cross this line, where did they go?
For the bathroom?
Yes.
We're going to see that on our next stop.
Oh.
Yay, the bathrooms!
Yay, smelly smells.
Don't drop the dysentery.
And we have a trash bag for our gloves and our aprons. So there you are.
Good job, guys.
And I will also take your goggles and
Yay, you have a disease now.
these will go in the trash bag.
I still don't forgive you guys.
Good thing I don't have this.
For y'all that had the hot pink, I'm sorry.
At least it was safe.
It was only one that could get back one bottle.
Stay away from me, Katie. You probably get sick later.
I can almost guarantee at least 3/4 of the people had that.
You knew it was purple, and then I opened it.
Yeah, I saw that that slight, very slight purple.
Mm,
You saw it too, right?
Alright, so since we just saw that this
yeah, I saw it.
spread through the water, and we talked about how these men would also desperately need to go to the bathroom with dysentery, let's go see where that site is. So I've got, I think, one more pair of goggles. Nope, I got all my glasses, so we're good. So if you could continue to carry that for me, thank you. And if someone wants to carry this box for me, there you go. Don't worry, you won't get dysentery out of that. Y'all can follow me to our next stop. Remember I mentioned that creek was only 4 feet wide, 2 feet deep.
Is that man-made too?
That is a natural creek. You will see some zigzags that kind of go down to the creek. Those were built in the 1930s by the Civilian Conservation Corps as part of a erosion control. But the creek itself is a natural creek, and it flows from the right to the left. So at the left end would have been the latrines, where these men were going to the bathroom.
Yep, you're right.
And that hike we just did, imagine trying to do that
With
through a
dysentery.
field of tents of 30,000 other people, and you've got the stomach bug. Can you make it?
Nope. No.
Well, you can make it in your pants as you're going.
And unfortunately, that is a reality for some of the soldiers that lived here. They unfortunately all were not able to make it down to the stream or to the latrine site in time and ended up going to the bathroom on the field itself. And that was over 150 years ago, so this is not a poop field. Because what would have happened as soon as it rained?
It washed away. Oh yeah.
Straight fertilizer down the hill into the river. And this river wasn't just their latrine. It was also where they bathed, and it was where they got the water for drinking. Right? This water was also already being contaminated because upstream of the prison site was the guards camp.
Oh,
And
Lord.
they used the same stream for the same reasons. And they're upstream, meaning everything that they did flowed downstream into the prison site.
Man, they just got a double tap,
Now
didn't they?
that wasn't entirely their fault.
Yeah, it's not the case.
It's not the case. And so if y'all are drinking contaminated water that's got poop and bath water in it and like food waste in it, are you gonna get sick?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
In fact, the #1 cause of death here at this site is chronic diarrhea.
Because you dehydrate yourself.
Dehydration. Now here's a vicious cycle. Because if you get diarrhea from drinking contaminated water, you slowly become dehydrated, meaning you need to drink more water to get better. But as a prisoner inside the stockade walls, not allowed to cross that deadline, your only source of water is the same dirty water that got you sick in the first place, leading to a vicious cycle of getting sick, needing water, getting sick. Needing water, getting sick, needing water, getting sick. Yeah.
Did they know about boiling water back then?
Not so much. I mean, they would boil water for maybe coffee and tea, but they didn't understand that it would kill the microbes in it because they just didn't know microbacteria was a thing. They understood that there were small things that lived in water, but they never really connected that to health issues until later. And so some of them had would boil water and they would make like a slurry with the rations that they would get. And we're going to talk about rations as we head to our next spot. So we got another question? Rainwater is probably a blessing. Absolutely. So as we go, I want you to think about how other methods that these men might be able to get water if they did not want to drink that. And while we're standing right here, you can kind of see the top of Providence Spring. I know some of you had questions about Providence Spring. I won't be able to take you there, but you can go on your own time down to Providence Spring. It is a small little historic structure built on top of the wellspring that sprung up during the summer of 1964, or 1965? 1964. And it's in a structure right down there. So you guys can visit that on your own, but that's where it's located. So we're going to go back up to the other corner where the monuments are located. And again, just think about other ways that these men might be able to get water.
You can run, right?
My bad.
Okay. Okay. I want to get a picture of that.
That's a long way. So long. Wait. Don't leave me. Okay. Can't heal. Yeah. No. Okay. Ah! Oh. The wind is blowing me. Whew. That was a long walk uphill. My feet are burning. I don't know. I was actually going to look at one of those. I saw several of them.
Oh, it's a well. Historic well. Because there's like several of them around here.
Cool. Okay.
Rainwater. How else might they get water?
The natural wells I saw around here?
Natural wells. Dig a well. They might have to dig a well. In fact, they did. This tree was planted on top of a well site. The reason why we have a fence around it is because those roots have gone down into the well itself, exposing it, which is why there's a giant hole. And because we are on top of a hill, and we were able to see where the stream was, we know that these men had to dig a very long ways to get to it. Some of these well sites were 50 to 60 feet deep. And so these concrete squares that we passed as we went through the field also indicate the well sites.
Oh yeah, that's weak. Don't step in it.
50 years ago, to help with the preservation of these sites, we built these well caps to prevent people falling 50 feet into the earth. But by making them these well, like little structures, you're also able to see where some of these well sites were. Now they would have used this water that they dug down to as a fresher source of water, not just for drinking, but also for making their Now these men received rations from the Confederate Army. Those rations were also the same type of rations that the guards got. However, being on the outside of the stockade walls, the guards had the opportunity to go into town and buy additional supplies for their meals, because the rations they got were not much. Majority of their ration was ground corn. Not so much a cornmeal, more of a chicken feed corn scratch type, where it's just been sort of ground up. And because the site was only meant for 10,000 people, they were receiving rations for 10,000 people. They were receiving 10,000 pounds of food a day, which sounds like a lot of food, but when you think about it, that's a pound of food a person for a whole day. But when you've got 33,000 prisoners here, each person is only getting a third of a pound of food a day. And so in order to make that corn stretch, one of the things they would do is they would also grind up the corn cob into the cornmeal. But they would also provide other types of grain like rice or even sorghum in their rations. Occasionally they might get meat in their rations. What the prisoners prayed for was that it was dried and salted, like a jerky. But more often what they got was slimy, rancid, rotten, maggot-filled chunks of meat. Not very good. But it was also the same stuff that the Confederates were getting. In that list of rations, did we have any fruits? Did we have any vegetables? Corn's a grain. Yeah, so we're not even getting any vegetables. What happens if you don't eat your fruits and vegetables?
You get stopped up.
You get stopped up, you get weak, you get sick. You can suffer from malnutrition, specifically.
Come over here.
Scurvy is the number 2 cause of death.
It went down there, and it's literally right over there.
Fall out, which makes it harder for you to eat the food that you're given, causing starvation.
Wow.
So remember I said that the guards were
Can you get a picture together?
but they had the option to go into town and buy fruits and vegetables from the townsfolk of Americus and Plains. The prisoners were not allowed to leave. They could help ward off something like scurvy. Some of them, however, took the buttons off their jackets, sold their heirloom pocket watch to the guards for a chance to get some fruits and vegetables, to maybe get some extra firewood, maybe get double rations, to try to clean out their areas. We were able to see why this site was so infamous. We have overcrowding, we've got poor shelter, we have contaminated water, we have insufficient food. This is all leading to illness and diseases.
Sorry about the wind, guys.
But the site is also infamous for the number of people who died here. During the 14 months that this site was in operation, 45,000 Union prisoners moved through this field, walked in the areas where we walked to death. Of them, 13,000 are buried in our cemetery. 1/3 of the soldiers who were held here never went home. And it's because of that extremely high death rate, mortality rate that occurred here, that this site is known as the deadliest grounds of the Civil War. Because with 13,000 people dying here, that is more people than died on the Battle of Gettysburg. More people died here than in the Battle of Shiloh. And these men were fighting their own war. They were fighting against starvation, against disease. Unfortunately, 1/3 of them lost that battle. But today we continue to remember and honor these men by sharing their story, by walking in their footsteps, and by erecting monuments in their memory. So these monuments in front of you have been set up by individual states to honor their soldiers
I have one question. I'm sorry. Now, this area was our enemy's prison. What about our soldiers? Where were they imprisoned? Our POWs.
So there are over 150 prison sites during the Civil War combined between the Union and Confederacy. So Andersonville is just one of 150.
Oh, wow.
And so there are many other sites. The one that is most compared to Andersonville is Elmira Prison up in upstate New York.
Wow.
It was a much smaller prison, and during the time that Elmira was open, they saw about 8,000, 9,000 Confederate soldiers held prison there. Much smaller number than the 45,000 that were held here.
Yeah.
However, their death rate, their mortality rate there was 25%.
Ooh.
Which is the closest in comparison to the 29% that was here in Andersonville.
Okay.
And there was, they actually had barracks, and they had a water main break or a flood occurred, flooded the barracks during winter.
Ooh.
And so many of the men there got pneumonia, bronchitis,
Hypothermia.
Because
Okay.
you take folks from the north, you bring them down to the south, they can't handle the summer. You take
Vice
folks from the
versa.
south, bring them up to the north, they have no idea what snow is.
Yeah.
So there were attempts made on escaping, but it wasn't very common, especially not through tunnels. There were no successful escapes through tunnels. These successful escape attempts that happened, people who were already outside the wall. Because if you showed that you had good behavior as a prisoner, you were often given jobs or work detail. Maybe you were sent up to the hospital site to assist the doctors, to help the injured or ill. Maybe you were sent out into the woods to cut down additional timber to reinforce a stockade or for firework. And sometimes during that time where you're outside the stockade wall and the guards aren't paying attention, you make a run for it. However, the Confederate guards also have in their employ slave dogs. Dogs that have been trained and bred to hunt down escaped peoples. So it is very, very difficult, and there are just a very small number of successful